All right, so this will be my second day working on In Bloom and Hell's Bells. Day 2. I have to teach these both tonight, so that's kind of why I'm pushing and working on these. And I have 4 hours till I have to leave to teach, so good luck to me. This is where I left off on the last Drum Live. I did not tackle the chorus, so I want to start looking at that right now. Yeah, and I just got to get my waking up and get my brain ready and going, so this will be a nice little exercise. You know, it's not rocket science. We're going to do the same thing we do every single time. I'm going to ignore that crash, and instead, I got to talk myself through this a minute and learn it. So it's 1 E and Thomas, you're the man. Thank you. Shouldn't you be in school? It's 11:30. Guitar will be happening after. I'll be on Thursday, bro. Thursday, I'll be doing guitar again. So I will be there for you. All right, so that's beat 1. 1 E and If we put the crash in there, it's. And then let's figure out 2 in a minute. So 2 E. And again, it's a slower song, so it's not going to be that hard for us to play. It's almost, in other songs would be an eighth note idea. I was going to say feel, but then that sounds like I'm saying feel because I don't enunciate or use proper pronunciation. 2 E and So a lot of good like bass drum ideas going on in this little section. All right, so let's do, let's just see how fast that is with 40 BPM. I think the original tempo is 179. Let's just hear it. And I do not have my loop set up. Give me 1 second. Oh, I don't know if I can do it from here. Yep, there we go. Loop. All right. 2 E and 1 E and E and 2 E and E and 2 E and So okay, all right. I shouldn't have tried to put the beat 2 in and 2 E and just 1. One and 2 and 1 E and So I mean, I break my own rules all the time. Probably something I need to work on. But if I'm hearing this, like I was able to say, okay, wait, I understand how the next part's gonna go because it's gonna be snare, kick, kick, snare, kick, kick. You know, so I could hear it and start implementing it. Now I couldn't do it multiple times in a row, which is probably why I want to practice it the way I said I was gonna practice it. So just 1, couple more times, and 1 E and 2. Okay, so now just 2. Let's play 2 by itself a minute. So it's 2 E and Okay, so I'm gonna skip 1, coming on 2, and 1, 2 E and 1. Not exactly. 2 E and 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 2E and 1 and and 2E and 1 and so funny enough, like just thinking about my click and then getting back to that. So I might just play, actually, let's put it all together. I think I can do that. So it's 1E and 2E and 1E and not that one. 1E and 2E and 1E and all right. And then yeah, so 3 is the exact same beat, so we get this down. 3 to 4 is the exact same as 1 to 2. So let's do a couple with metronome. See how we do. 2E and 2E and 1E and 2E and 1E and 2E and 1E and so I could see just with my lack of technique and something I need to develop, us getting up to twice the speed is going to be a little challenging. Like I said. So, but it's that the entire measure. So I say we just do this whole measure. Let's just start creeping up with that tempo. Let's do it by 6s. I'm going to ignore that crash for now. We can add that back in later. Again, you know, if I'm teaching a new song to a student, one thing that I'd look at right away, since we're just jumping into this from the beginning, or ignoring the beginning, we're just jumping into the middle of this. Because this 16th note pattern, 1E and 2E and oftentimes you have to look at like, okay, would they play it with the right hand? Or would it go? Now, because we have that snare on the same beat as that hi-hat, we can't do a 16th note like this. Song's slow enough, but it's gonna. It's gonna push your technique a little bit, or it's gonna push mine anyway. All right, and 2E, 3E, and 4E, and 1E, and and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and so what got me trying to play this 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and is just that a 3. And again, it's for me, it's lack of technique. Yeah, I can play like nobody's business, but all of a sudden you have to go a little bit of double, and then my foot gets out of place, and that's enough to just mess me up. So 1, a 2, oh no, it'd be 1, a 2E, a 3, a 4E, a 1, a 2E, a 3, a 4E, a 1. So we're gonna select. I like this idea though. It's a good little exercise for the In Bloom song. I'm gonna see if I can play it at 40. 1, a 2E, a 3, a 4E, a 1, a 2E, a 3, a. We'll see if I can play it. 3 and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and and 4 E and 1 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1. So obviously can't do it, or I can't do it well. But that's good. That means it's a 16th note pattern I need to work on. 1, 2 E, 3, 4 E, 1, 2 E, 3, 4 E. So if I had more time today, I would just do this. I would do this, and part of the 3, when I let my foot rest after that, and getting my foot back into position for the next one is enough to just, again, throw my rhythm off because I'm just not good enough yet. 1, 2 E. 1, 2. I gotta put the snare in, otherwise I'm gonna try to play those beats. So, and then the metronome again shows all my flaws, which is great. I mean, it's great in a way of making me feel bad about myself, but also great in a way of like, okay, well, this is what I need to work on. 1, 2 E, 3, 4 E, 1, 2 E, 3, 4 E. So, and I'm going to try to ignore or try not to implement better technique, which is an odd thing to say, right? I need to get through this song. I have 4 hours. I need to do the best as I can do right now. Then I need to come back and work on this technique. I shouldn't even say, it's more applying the technique to my playing than anything else. I know the idea of the technique. I can't do it into practice. All right, so let's see if I can do it again with metronome. So we're going to try to get down just those kicks. Good exercise. 3 E and 4 E and E and E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and E and 2 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and counting that 2 E and 1 or 2 E and 3 is enough to just get me every single time. All right, let's put it let's keep the metronome going because I think it'd be easy for me to just go. Again, I can play that. You can hear it. Now, if you're very trained musically, you can probably hear where I rush and point it out. I'd love to hear that. Now, if I can play that, and I'm playing a little fast, let's see if I can play it with metronome, which I know I can't. 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and... You know, okay, I can hear the kick kind of wobble as I play. But I have 4 hours, so we're going to keep pushing. 4 hours, and I want to take a nap, so I'm in like... So I'm going to try to do the kick drum exercise again at this tempo, and then get into playing the beat. And 2 E, and 3 E, and 4 E, and... 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1. So it's again, it's that three gets me. Just how I have to count that. And honestly, it's probably the spacing of the hi-hats as well, right? Because I'm getting 2 hi-hats, 1 hi-hat. I should say 2 hi-hats on that first beat with nothing else going on. 1, E, and right? Your brain gets used to that. Now, if I play just kick drum and hi-hat on beat 2, which will be interesting if I can even do it, 2, E, and 2, E, and right? That E, E, is enough to mess me up and probably can mess other people up. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and all right, let's do it again with metronome. We're at 46. E and 3 E and 4 E and again, technique is showing its lack of technique is showing its face. One E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and rush. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and and it's funny now that I'm putting uber focus onto my kick and still not doing great technique there. My hand technique, which is also not great. I mean, like, you know, call a spade a spade. Also, you know, because all my focus is going there, this goes away. Pick your battles. Right now, mine is play it as good as I can and get it up to speed. Probably not the best way to do this, but here's where we're at. All right, 52. And okay, same thing, starting with the kick drum, getting that down, and then adding in the hi-hats. One E and 2 E and 3 E and and 4 E and E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and trying to implement too many things, and that's okay. I like the tempo, so we're gonna do a couple more of these. getting to that part where I'm already like over focusing on this part. So let's try 58 and then we're going to leave it. And then the idea is today, because, you know, this gets me halfway through, I think, both songs, just to see where else I was terrible at and try to start cleaning those up as good as I can and going from there. All right. So same thing, kick drum first. All right, I gotta count with that. And a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a E and a 3, 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and. So I mean, you can just see me fall apart at the faster tempos because I just can't think that fast yet. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a E and a 2 E and a 3. E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a. Okay, that's enough time on that. All right, I'm not even gonna try. It's not that hard. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 30-second notes. Find out. Let's copy this into there. So I would just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Problem is, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But we all know we're not gonna have a lot of time to do that. So 40 BPM. Let's just hear one. So 3 and 4 and is really what I want to hear. How fast that has to be at this half tempo, basically. And 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and. Love that I can't even think that way because I want to go 1 E and well, that's not right. So actually, what I'm gonna do, I wish I could like open that thing up for you. So if I'm playing 3 and 4, and there's no reason to have this full measure. Let's just get this. 3 and 4 and right. So my first hits are this. I mean, I'm playing. Obviously, well, not obviously, but right, left, right, left. Now I get to do right, left on just one kick. So it's not broken apart like that, right? I'd have to go. But I need to be able to hear that 1 or 3 and 4 and 3 and 4. So let's see. Hopefully that's slower than what I just did. And 4, it is. 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. What I didn't finish explaining, this is now feeling like typical lessons. I jump halfway through an idea. 1 or 3 E and 3 E and 3 E and. Because if I take out my left, right, I'm just going. There'd be half as many hits on each one of those, each of those kick drums. You could think of it that way. So instead of, it's just. Because I just need to teach myself the spacing before I do anything else, and getting that idea of 3 and 4 and so 3 and. I'm going to count E's. Somebody can yell at me later and tell me how the right way to do it. 3 E and 4 E and Most likely that's what I'd be playing on anyway. Because, I mean, yeah, okay. 3 E and 4 E and Okay, now see if I can play that in time. E and 3 E and 4 E and 3 E and 4 E and 3 E and 4 E and Now, I'm kind of using these as a guide. Couldn't even do it as soon as I stopped. 3 and 4 and 3 E and 4 E and wish that snare sounded a little bit better. Now, the hard thing is for my rhythmically challenged brain is as soon as I'm done with we're going to see how bad I am at this. I need to double that, right? By 3. Yeah. And this song, if I get through this, will fix a lot of those rhythm issues for me, which is why I like teaching via a beat or teaching via a song. You got to learn all these lessons anyway, so you can either learn it out of a book that has these ununiformed ideas, or you can learn it from a song where it's like, hey, he's playing upon 3 or 4 different ideas, and he's not totally changing the game all the time. So, all right. 3. So I'm going to go, how do I want to count that? I'm going to go from 3 and 3 E and 4 E and is that have I already set it up? So I kind of feel like I have to play something off of that. Hopefully I don't have to count it, but knowing me, I do. So I'm going to try to go 1 E and 2 E and we'll see. 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 3 and 4 and 3 E and great thing. Metronome's way slower than I have to go. Bad thing. I can't hear it. 1 and so gotta get that idea back. 1 and 3 E and 4. 3 and 4 and there we go. 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 3 E and 4 E and 3 E and so first run was terrible. You could just hear I can't focus on that. Can't focus on that while I'm trying to put those left hands in. Which is good. I mean, it's that offbeat pattern idea as well that I tackled the other day. That is enough to just throw me off rhythmically. So you got to zone into that 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and so you got to kind of zone in. 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 3 1 three E and 4E and 3E and 4E and shit. It's good stuff. It's good stuff to practice. I need more time. I also wonder if 40, I mean, I don't want to make the excuse of like, 40 is too slow. It's hard to count. But it might be too slow. It's hard to count. Don't think that's the actual issue. So let's prove me right by being wrong. We'll see. 3 and 4 and 3E and 4E and 3E and 4E and and 3E and 4E and 3E and 4E and 3E and 4E and 3E and I tried. I really did. A little bit of a stretch break. Yeah, I mean, that's fun. It's fun to play. It's a good challenge. I like the idea of breaking it down that way. I think it makes a lot of sense to approach everything like this. You're just simplifying it. And you're trying to find a guidepost so that 1 and 3 and 4 and 3 and You can start with 3 and 4 and. It's really forcing me. You can hear that every once in a while I'm a little sloppy on the kick. Can't hear it right now because, of course, I'm trying to point it out and I'm focusing on it. But listen for it. You know, there's a little bit of a double hit that happens sometimes. 3. 3 and 4 and then 3 E and nope 3 4 and 3. There was a little bit of sloppiness. 3 and 4 and 3 E and 4 E. Oh, I'm trying not to do that. 3 and 3 and 4. Oh, that's right. 3 and 4. And then you double that. 3 and 4. And dude, like I'm talking to one person, like I'm talking to anybody. Learn the exercise. I was like metronome, and I agree it should be, because you can hear because I didn't spend years with the metronome. You know, I kind of screwed myself over. Now I have to do more work. Don't do more work. Approach the exercise without metronome. Approach it with metronome, but don't be lazy. Laziness is really the key. Don't be lazy and be like, I got it without metronome. So why would I ever spend my time with metronome? No. Get the idea slow. Understand it at this very slow concept. So actually, let's do that again because it's not going to hurt me. Acting like I know how to play drums because I got it up to 48 BPM. Listen to me, everybody. I'm good at this. You can learn along with me is the whole point. Understand the idea at this slower tempo. Let's just even hear how slow this tempo is. So 3 and 4 and 3 and. So here's the layers, right? 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 3 and. Now start building it. Without metronome, we're going to build the whole thing. Then we're going to start over and build the whole thing with metronome. 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4. Now you double the snare. And then you double it again. And if you had good technique, you'd get up to speed. So now we're going to build that exact same thing with metronome. 3 and 4 and 3 and. You can hear how fast I got to rushing it. 3 and 4 and. And. 3 and 4 and. Doubled. I lost it, as you could possibly hear. 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and. All right, I think I need to move on. I like that though, and I like that as an exercise, and I will dive back into that in the future. So I'm at about 40 minutes. Let's try to do. I guess we're just gonna do No, let's do this beat for a minute. There'll be a little bit of a break. Let's not do 79. We're gonna do this beat. We're gonna do the intro, and then I'm gonna spend at least 15-20 minutes on Hell's Bells. So let's just do Let's do the same thing. We'll just do 50. All right, let me remember this a minute. So we're going that 1E and all right, let's see how that goes. And 3E and 4E and 1E and all right, so I mean, I got the idea of that one down. Really just needed a little bit of a break for my foot. 1E and 1E and okay, let's see what 60 is. So again, I can just point out my bad technique with my right hand. You know, it's good enough for right now. It's something I need to work on fixing. But as I start pushing 16th notes at 60, 1E and that technique starts falling apart. So just stuff to be aware of. 2 and 3. Let's do 70, and then we're 10 BPM away from full speed, or 9 if you want to be 100% on. Let's do this. See how it goes. And a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. Three, 4, 1E. Cool. Good enough for right now. All right, this bitch. This bitch is probably the accurate term for this. All right, just gotta start from scratch, which is not bad. You're starting from scratch, even though it kind of sucks. It's not defeating, but it's just like, shit, I've already learned part of this. But starting from scratch lets you learn what you didn't learn the first time, things that you didn't pick up, some nuances or whatnot. So it looks like 40 BPM was where I put it back to. So we got this 1 and 1 and a 2 and 1. All right. And a 2 and 1 and a 2. One and a 2 and 1 and a 2 and 2 and 1 and a 2 and 2 and 1 and a cool. All right, got the idea of that. 3 E and A. Three E and let's try to just add that all in. Yeah, let's do that. So without metronome for a bit, get the idea. 1 and a 2 and 3 E and A. So I know what messed me up yesterday a ton is that you're going 1 and a 2 and 3 E and A. That 2 and 3. 2 and 3. It seems like that's a million years between the end of 2 and the 3. Just probably my brain, but 1 and a 2 and 3. It's very easy for me to want to rush that. Actually, let's do the whole measure, and we're just going to skip 4. Because then I can kind of focus on getting a little bit of a rest in between. 3 E and a 4 and 1. Rushed it. 1 and a 2 and 3 E and a 4. Rushed it, but. One and a 2 and 3 E and see what I mean? Because I rushed again. One and a 2 and 3 E and a 4 and. So I don't think it's terrible at this point. And I'm gonna make the excuse that a student would make. It's at 40. It's really slow. If you can't play it well at 40, you're not gonna play it well at 50. So I just need to keep working on it. I just want to add that last beat in so I can kind of put all this together. So it's that 4 E and and I know I struggled with this yesterday. I struggled with everything. So 4. So actually, let's do that again. Yeah, we're gonna do it from 3, and we're gonna get that 4 E or 4 and then we're gonna go 3 E A. 4 E and E. Ooh, kind of want to do it this way. I think this would be funner, more fun exercise. All right, so let's just see what happens. I'm gonna try to do hand, 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 E A, hand, hand. So it'd be 4 and 4 and. We'll see if I need a measure or a beat in between. E and a 4, E and a E and a 4, E and a E and a 4, E and a 4, E and a E and a 4, E. It's a good idea. It's not in my skill range yet. So 4 and E, 4 and E, 4 and E, That's what I want to try to do. I think that one makes more sense. 4 and E, 4 and E and 4 and. So it's gonna be really hard for me not to put the E on 4, because you can hear I'm counting it that way too. 4E and 4E and 4E and 4E and 4E and 4E and I'm not gonna obsess about this right now. I like this idea a lot. I think it's a great exercise for it. Let me just break it down. But in the future, I'll work on this because I like it. 4 and 4E and So let's try to count that. I was gonna slow the thing down. I don't feel like it's what I should be doing with my time right now. 4E. So 4 and 4E and 4 and 4E and 4 and. So let's try to count all those 16th notes. 4E and 4E and 4E and 4E and 4E and. Yeah. 4E and 4E and 4E and then put it together. 4E and you just, there's a tightness to the rhythm that wasn't there earlier, because you're teaching yourself that rhythm. 4E and 4E and 4E and 4E and see if I can get that exercise just multiple times in a row with a pause. 4E, 4 and 4 and 4 and 4 and 4 and 4E and 4E and 4E and 4E and 4E and 4 and 4E and trying to do it without counting. I'm messing myself up otherwise. E and 4E and 4E and 4E. Another trick you could do is like do your sticks with it. 4E and 4. See how trained my brain is to do this wrong? 4E and 4E and 4. Another good exercise. All of them are good exercises. Pick the ones you want to do. It'll help you learn the part. Let's try to put this all together. Yeah, I think I want to learn that second measure so I can work on. See that messed me up. 4, 4E and 1 and 2 and. So yeah, I think having both measures learned is gonna help. Because otherwise, like I play what's on the sheet music quite often. It's a good / bad habit of mine. You spend an hour or two reading this, playing it through this way. It's hard for me to then deviate and make this first measure a loop and not trying to do those double crash every time. So in some ways, it's easier for me to like, okay, let's quick learn this idea, which is almost the same. So it's got that 1. It'd actually be this crash. 1 and 2 and. Again, only difference is that first measure has that and. This one is going 1 and 2 and 3. All right. Good luck to me. I love that it's been 55 minutes and I haven't even got to the other song yet. That one's a little bit easier. All right, both measures, 40 BPM. maybe I want to get this last beat in there. Let's just think. Let's walk this through a couple times. So we got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and you can hear me slow that down. 4 E and 1 and try to do that open, but we'll see. 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 E and 1. That's a 1. It's gonna get me out of place. 4 E and 1 and yeah. All right. Before I do anything, I gotta fix this problem. We're gonna we'll give 3 as a rest measure, a rest beat. And then I'm going to try to go 4 E and 1 and 2 and 4. And I think that's the best way to do it. Okay, all the way to here. All right, 40 BPM. Shouldn't be terrible. Let's practice it a couple times without metronome. 4 E. So I'm going to get that 3 and 4 E and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Before I do this work, let's hear how slow 40 is, because I know it's slower than what I'm playing. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 E and 3 and 4 E and 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 4 E and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and 1 and 3 and 4 E and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and 1 and 3 and 4 3 and 4 E and 1 and 2 and and 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 and 3 and four E and 1 and 2 and 3 and all right. Done with that for now. Good way to practice it though. Getting those transitions down. I'm just zoning out. So, and I got to hit Hell's Bells before I move on. All right. What should we do with Hell's Bells? Let's just start from the top and see. Don't care. All right. So this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and let's clean that up a little bit. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so let's do 60 so I can really focus on just clean eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and in both these songs, a lot of the weakness is my playing, but also my foot. Because I don't have, I moved out of the picture so you couldn't see that he was to blame. Because I don't have great technique with my foot, a regular drummer is not wearing themselves out by playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So I can play that fine and even clean up my technique a little bit here. You can't see all of that. But you hear that little bit of a double hit? I'm trying to resolve that. Or that little bit of lag. And then again, this offbeat idea shows up, and you can hear my eighth notes kind of go, well, where do you want them to be? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's how we work on fixing them. Got a couple different ideas. All right, 2, 3, 4. So setting that groundwork. 1, 2. Now eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and here I even want to rush them if I give myself. So even by giving myself 1 and 2 and I started rushing them. And so let's get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And if you can't do this at 60 BPM, just going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and practice. Start at 40. Get to the place where you can play that and it sounds tight. And 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and snare. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Shit. It's fun though. 1 and 2 and 3 and. I dare bet you do that for a week and you'll never have this eighth note problem again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, one more time with 60, then we'll move on. 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. Funny, I do think if it was I could play it smoother. Just, I'm not a great rhythmist. I was going to say a great left-hander, but that doesn't make any sense. So, my left hand is dumb. I need to work on it. All right, so I like that 60 BPM there, so let's save that. Let's work on this drum beat. Just a good review, something easy. Yep, okay. So a little slow, but 1 and 2 and without the crashes. With crashes. All right, let's push that tempo because 60's pretty slow. without. Crashes. Yeah, so it's not that challenging of a beat. Basic rock beat. So I'll do the same thing. Cool. No reason to work on that anymore right now. 108 is not going to be that big of a difference, big of a challenge. All right, so I ended this with 70, so we'll see. 1 and 2 and 3. Again, it'd be this crash twice. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... let's just slow down a little bit. Let's do 60. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... and 2 and flam and 4. Did that wrong. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and... Cool. Digging it. So let's get back to that 70. And 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... One, two, three, 4. Good, getting those couple rim shots just because I'm getting lazy, Near the end of my practice session, that's how I get. Shouldn't be. So, don't let the routine become mundane. I enjoy doing this. But, you can start being like, well, I don't have to hold my hand up the whole time as I play. I can, relax a little bit, stand up straight, sit up straight, play, do a good job, be done, take a break. Don't take a break while you're playing. More talking to myself than anybody else. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Two, 3, 4. Cool. Let's do 90 before I move on. I wanted to move on, but it's like, I still do 90. One, 2, 3, 4. See, I like to rush that, obviously, at the end. 2, 3, 4, and 1. All right, getting sloppy at that tempo. I'm going to try to leave these where I think I should start them at. Just try to imprint that idea into my brain. I don't mind starting that slower than I have to. It's always good to, but I do need to leave here in an hour, 2 hours. All right, this measure. Probably the last I work on for today before I take a break and then come back. So we got the 1 and 2 and R1 and 2 and 3. All right, let's hear it in context. I think I can put it together at 60. And 2 and 3 and 4 and I put that snare in. So I got the idea of it. Just gotta play it in time. All right, let's move it up. And 2 and 3 and 4 and... brain is shutting down, but I'm just going to force myself to do one more. You know, we're an hour and 15, 16 minutes in. It's okay if you start losing focus. You know, these are long. I guess, you know, an hour practice session I think is like kind of the right idea. I'm trying to do daily 2 broken up vocal practices. I think one's 45, and I think they're both an hour. And you see more growth by having a nice break. If I did a 2-hour just like trudging through this mud, I'm not gonna get as good as if I would do an hour. Take a nice little break, do another hour. That's gonna help it soak in and sink in. That's my speech for today. I think my whole point is when you start losing focus, you're gonna have less gains. You know, you're not gonna learn the lessons you need to from this. So you're better off refreshing, taking a break. I'm gonna go get some fucking sun in a minute, and take a nap, and then come back and do one more. Now I'm pushing myself differently because I need to teach these tonight at 7 p.m. and I'll let everyone know how it goes. I think it's at 6:30. I know you care. You're waiting on bated breath. But so that's why I'm pushing a little bit differently than I would. And I just got back from vacation, so I didn't have a time to work on these all. All right, enough about me. Too much for my brain. It's at that part where you're just like, you know what, maybe you need to be done right now. But I want to get a couple good at 80 because I know it's going to cement the idea. And then I'm only 28 BPM away from full speed. My brain just shuts down. 2, 3, 4. And not in a frustrated way, just like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not getting it anymore. I'm not thinking it through. I want to play it twice through on my own. Just to cement the idea before I'm done. So, all right. About that tempo is what I was doing. Shit. 1 and 2 and 3 and... One more time. I'm thinking about other things, and I shouldn't be. I want to get this in my head. 3, 4. Call that good enough. All right, I hope this helps somebody. It's helping me. I'm getting better at drums. I can feel it actually after just 3 days of doing this, so it's pushing